What's up everybody, it's Tadpole Superhero, and today I'm going to be finishing off my E3 recap reaction videos. Excuse me. Talking about, today, giving my impressions of the Nintendo's digital event as a whole, and then talking about some other impressions from different games they showed off at Treehouse Live, and going a little more in depth on some of the games they already announced at the digital event. So here we go. First of all, I am with the general consensus on the digital event in that it was underwhelming. I'm not disappointed with it. I actually really enjoyed it. But it was underwhelming. One of the things I noticed is that kind of the presentation of everything, when you had people from Nintendo like talking, they seemed very muted. They weren't very energetic or excited. Once they were done talking about Star Fox, it was just kind of, okay, here's the game, and then they show stuff from the game, and they're like, here's the story, and they tell the story, and then here's the game, and here's stuff from the game. It's just very, not a lot of energy, especially for an E3 thing. And I mean, you know, I understand that Nintendo does directs and stuff throughout the year, but you'd think they come to E3 with a little more punch, a little more excitement and enthusiasm, which you can see that excitement at Treehouse Live and in interviews and stuff with people, but the digital event, definitely not. Also, I mean, Star Fox is their heavy hitter for the year, but it's not a heavy hitter as much as I want it to be. It looks amazing. Star Fox Zero looks awesome, but it's not gonna draw in. I don't think it's gonna do very well, because it's very focused on a very unique control scheme that sounds awesome, looks awesome, but I think it's going to turn a lot of people off, which is a bummer because the game looks fantastic, and it's just, they're banking on it as their heavy hitter for 2015. I don't think it's going to be. And other than that, they didn't really have a lot of big games. Xenoblade Chronicles is big, and it comes out in December, but they barely touched on it. Don't know why. They focused a lot more on kind of smaller games. You know, like Fire Emblem and Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem just got a quick trailer for each of those. Yeah, I mean, they touched on, you know, I mean, there's like Mario Tennis, looks great. Mario and Luigi looks great. Zelda Triforce Heroes looks awesome. The Animal Crossing games look great, but it's just a lot of small games, especially for E3. It's sort of like, well, I mean, they didn't bring their A game for a big event like E3 is basically where I'm at. I think also part of it was, you know, it's Mario's 30th anniversary. Mario Maker is the big deal for this year. A lot of people were just kind of over the hype for Mario Maker, and I don't know why. I think they just wanted to see more new stuff, which they also revealed Paper Mario, or Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, as well as Mario Tennis Ultra Smash. They both look great. You know, this is definitely a Mario year, but, you know, there wasn't like a Mario Galaxy type reveal, or there wasn't a big Mario game. There's Mario Maker, which is a big game, but people already know about it and know a lot about it and are just ready for it. Also, I forgot to mention this in the previous video. Super Mario Maker, it comes out on September 11th. So, good job, Nintendo. Way to go. I don't know who decided it should come out on September 11th, but there you go. Yeah, anyway. Moving on to Treehouse Live, they went in depth on a ton of games. So I want to start off with, what do I want to start off with? Triforce Heroes, Zelda Triforce Heroes, because I'm so excited for this game. And they showed off the costumes. They also talked about, there are a ton of other modes coming to this game. There's single player, so you can play it by yourself. There's local multiplayer with download play, so only one person out of the three of you playing has to have the game. As long as everybody has a 3DS and one game, you can all play, all three of you. That's awesome. There's also online multiplayer, which is great and fantastic. There are all these great emoticons also you can use to communicate with your team members, which I think will come in really handy in online play. Along with the sort of you're kind of penalized if you don't cooperate with each other because you have a shared life bar. So I think that's going to make online multiplayer fairly stress-free because everybody's going to be incentivized to work together. So that's something. They also have other modes aside from the dungeon crawling classic Zelda gameplay. There's an arena where you actually fight each other, and you can pick up different items on the arena and use different Zelda items to fight against each other. And you can do either one-on-one or a 3-player free-for-all. I think, you know, that's a mode that I don't think is going to have a lot of longevity, but it is going to be fun to just sort of play it every now and then, you know. They also have a challenge mode, which they didn't talk a lot about it. They showed one challenge run, which is basically like waves of enemies, which, you know, I mean, it's kind of, we've seen that in other Zelda games, so that's cool that they've got that as well. And it sounds like, from everything they've said, that there's a very full-fledged story going along with it, even if it's, you know, it's hilarious and not at all serious. They're taking it seriously as a game in terms of giving it tons of content and making it a full experience instead of just, hey, here's a multiplayer collection. There's single player too, so it looks so much fun. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so that's a thing. Also, Yokai Watch, you know, when they showed it off in the digital event, they had a pretty quick trailer and then it moved on. They played it in depth on Treehouse Live and it looks really cool. What you have is you have a watch, Yokai Watch. That's where the name comes from. And you can store up to, I think it's like 6 different monsters in your watch, and then you use them to fight other monsters as a team. And you're kind of more of a coach, so you don't have as much direct control over your monsters, but you set up different formations so that they can use their abilities synergistically and have special attacks and stuff like that. So it's a lot of planning and tactics, which I love that. And it's set within the real world. You're a little kid running around, and you're the only kids can see these monsters, and that's why you're a kid who has to save people from the monsters. And so, I mean, like, there's cool little details, like your mom will notice if you try to sneak out late at night, so you have to avoid her finding out if you're leaving at night. There's traffic running through the streets, and if you keep running out in front of traffic, then traffic controller officers will come up and scold you. It's just really cute, and it looks fun, and I definitely want to play it now. I wasn't completely sold before, but now I'm like, I want it. I want to play it. It looks hilarious and cute and fun. They also played a lot of Metroid Prime Blast Ball and Federation Force. And the more I see of these games, the more I'm excited about them. I think they look really fun. Again, Metroid Prime Federation Force is basically FPS co-op Monster Hunter in the Metroid universe. And it's cool because you pick different loadouts that essentially give you different classes, and you work together as a team of 4 to take down giant monsters. I love it. It's so cool, and it looks like it plays really well. And Blast Ball, I mean, again, it's 3v3 soccer with laser guns. Sign me up. Looks tons of fun. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about Federation Force and Blast Ball. I am excited about them. Not just sort of like, oh, it looks cool, but like, that looks fun. I want to play it. So, that's, yeah. Sorry to all the haters. They also, what else did they play that I was really excited about? I need to look at my notes. Look at my notes. That's the wrong page. They played more Woolly World and talked to Tezuka, and it was just super cute, as always. They went in depth also. Oh, this was another thing. They showed off some cool indie titles that are coming up this year. One of which is Runbow, which is an 8-player racing platforming party game. It's a 2D platformer side-scroller, and you run through the levels. Runbow. And there's 8 players, and you're competing to reach the end first. And the levels are really short. They're like 30 seconds at most. And what happens is throughout the level, the background color is always one color, but it's always changing. So if the background is orange, for example, then all orange platforms and orange walls blend into the platform, so they basically don't exist when the background is orange. So you want to pay attention to colors, and when it switches, you don't want to jump onto a green platform as the background's changing to green, because then you'll just fall off of it. And it just looks like hectic multiplayer fun. You can play with less than 8 players as well. And there's also online multiplayer. And you can also have somebody on the gamepad playing as the color master, which basically then it turns the game into a everyone who's a runner in the game against the color master, and the color master gets to like pick when the colors change and what it changes to. They get to use certain power-ups and abilities to stun the runners, and so it turns from an 8-player free-for-all race to the finish to a team-based race where you're all trying to work together to reach the end and beat the color master. It looks so much fun. It's coming out sometime this year. With indie games, you don't really get a hard and fast release date until like right before it comes out. So keep an eye on that. Runbow coming to the Wii U. Looks so much fun. They also showed off, in Treehouse Live, they also highlighted LBX, Little Battlers Experience, which was a game they showed off at the Micro Direct they did back in, I think, April. It's basically custom robo. If you've never played those games before, you build your own robot and you fight them against other robots. And it just looks really cool. It's coming to the 3DS, and they played it, and there's a lot of customization. The combat looks really engaging and fun, so sign me up. I want it. Little Battlers Experience. Then they showed off. You can't see me, but I'm so excited about this game that I'm about to tell you. They showed off this indie title called Fast Racing Neo. And when they started talking about it at the Treehouse Live presentation, the developer for the game was up there with them, and he basically said, this isn't a direct quote, but he essentially said, and that development team apparently has been developing games exclusively for Nintendo consoles for over a decade. And they were looking at the Wii U and saying, what kind of games are there not on the Wii U? And this was their development mindset, figuring out, okay, what game do we want to make next? Saying, okay, what does Nintendo not have right now? And they said, there's not a futuristic anti-gravity racer. Which basically was saying there's not an F-Zero. He was basically saying, hey, we looked at the Wii U, we noticed there's not an F-Zero, so we made an F-Zero game. And I love F-Zero so much. FZero GX is one of the best games I've ever played. It's so much fun. And they showed off this game. Oh my gosh. It is F-Zero in everything but name. It's super fast. It's a fully fledged game too. I mean, it's an indie eShop title, and it has 16 race tracks. It has online multiplayer, local split screen multiplayer. It has time trials. It has different difficulty levels, different speed levels, and they played it on the slowest speed, and it was insanely fast, and I love it so much. There are some changes from F-Zero. It's not like a copy and paste F-Zero game. You don't have the health bar, so that's pretty cool. But you can, if you crash into certain elements of the course, or you fall off the course, then you explode. So that's the thing. But you build up boost power by going through these orbs, and then you can activate your own boost so you can speed up and go faster. There are boost pads along the course, but there's 2 different colors. There's orange and there's blue. And that's where this mechanic, you can switch colors by pressing the X button. So if you're orange and you go through the orange boost pad, then you speed up. If you're orange and you go through a blue boost pad, then you are slowed down by going through the boost pad. So you have to watch the environment and change colors. It adds this extra level of franticness to the F-Zero format, and I love it. And this game comes out sometime this year. Again, it's an indie title, so no hard and fast release date until it comes out. But oh my gosh, if you're a fan of F-Zero, you need this game. I've watched the Treehouse Live gameplay of it. They 2 or 3 or 4 times already. The trailer's gonna be in the description below, as usual with my other E3 videos. There's gonna be trailers for the games that I'm talking about below. Fast Racing Neo. If you're an F-Zero fan, get it the instant it comes out. It is everything you've been wanting. except for Captain Falcon. Of course, he's not in it. But anyway, that ends my recap and reaction to this year's E3. Nintendo was generally underwhelming, but there were a lot of good games announced and a lot of cool stuff shown off and a lot to be excited for and interested in. And there were also some cool games from other developers too. From Square and from Sony and from Microsoft and from EA and Bungie and not Bungie, Bethesda and Ubisoft. Cool games coming out. Really cool stuff. A lot of exciting things. Oh, one other thing that I forgot to mention. Mega Man Legacy Collection. I'm going to slap a big screenshot up here right now. They had it playable on the show floor. Game Explain has put together some awesome gameplay videos of it, but it's Mega Man 1 through 6 collected in one package with challenge modes, boss rushes, everything. If you're a Mega Man fan, check it out. It's coming this year, very soon, to Xbox One, Steam, and PS4, and then this winter it's going to come to the 3DS. Don't know why it's not coming to the Wii U, but whatever. Mega Man 1 through 6 all in one package, upscaled to HD so that the 8-bit art looks stunning and awesome on an HD TV. So if you're a Mega Man fan, keep that on your radar. It looks tons of fun. I'll put one or two of the gameplay videos in the description below. Anyway, that was this year's E3. It was great. It was fun. They're cool games. I like it. It wasn't as exciting for Nintendo as last year, but it's still really cool. So that's it. Let me know in the comments below, what was your favorite thing from this year's E3 and what were you most disappointed with from this year's E3? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been Tadpole Superhero, and as always, I'll see you next time.